What happens when you take two AI glasses into the real world and actually use them the way travelers would? We ran three tests, and one of these didn't go the way I expected at all. If you're into travel tech that actually makes your trips easier, hit subscribe. We test this stuff before you spend your money. Today, we're comparing the Rokid 2026 style AI glasses against the Meta AI glasses. Both are non display glasses, and we're doing real world travel situations with them. Let's start with something every traveler runs into. You're in a new place, you're looking at something, and you just want to know, what is that? So we were in North Myrtle Beach and looking at Cherry Grove Pier. That's the Rokid glasses, and what we're going to ask them to do is identify what that pier is over there. So I'm going to show you what that looks like right here. Just turn you around. All right, so that is the Cherry Grove Pier in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
You are looking at a wide, sandy beach in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Here are three pieces of information about your view. 1. The long structure extending into the ocean is the Cherry Grove Pier, a famous local landmark for fishing and sightseeing. 2. The beach features light-colored sand with visible tire tracks, likely from beach patrol or maintenance vehicles. 3. There is a gray broom trash can in the immediate foreground, with a small action camera mounted to its rim. What would you like to know more about?
And that's all we'll ask. It's kind of funny because the camera is mounted to the trash can for this video that it should pick that up. All right, let's try it now with the Metas. Okay, so now we're going to do the same demonstration with the Meta, same pier. And with Meta, there is no touch. There's talk that you can do the long press, but honestly, you're going to want to hold that just for straight video. I don't think you're going to want to constantly being able to do that. To just every time you press the long press on the command button for it to identify, because you're going to do more video or pictures than anything else. So you just have to say, "Hey Meta, what am I looking at?"
You're looking at a beach scene with a large, open, sandy area stretching toward the water. There's a gray trash bin in the foreground, and in the distance, you can see people, a pier, and a clear blue sky. The sand has footprints and tire tracks, and the ocean is visible along the horizon.
Meta, what pier is that?
The pier in the distance appears to be a long, open structure extending into the water, typical of beachside piers. I don't see specific signage or details to identify it by name, but it's a common feature along this stretch of beach.
Okay, based on my location, can you tell me what pier it is?
I can't identify the specific pier from this view, but you're on a sandy beach with a long pier stretching into the water in the distance. If you're near a known location, you might recognize it by the beach setup or nearby signs.
With Rokid, I used the two-finger shortcut. No wake word, no delay, just let it look. What stood out immediately was how structured the response was. It didn't just describe the scene, it actually identified the pier by name, gave context, and then broke down the surroundings into usable pieces of information. And it even picked up details like beach conditions and objects in the foreground, and then it paused and asked what I wanted to know next. And that's important. It didn't overwhelm me. Now switch over to Meta. Same location, same view, but here you have to rely on your voice. So I asked what I was looking at, and it described the scene pretty well: beach, sand, pier in the distance. But when I pushed further and asked what pier it was, it couldn't identify it. And even when I tried to guide it based on location, it just didn't have enough context to give a real answer. And that's a big difference, because when you're traveling, you don't just want a description, you want useful information. Now let's move to test number 2. And this is the one that really surprised me, because this is something you deal with constantly when you travel. Menus, signs, foreign foods, unfamiliar names, different currency. This is where AI glasses should shine. So we put both glasses up against a real menu and asked them to identify an empanada style dish. In this case, I'm going to use a tablet with a menu on it from one of our favorite restaurants in Puerto Vallarta. And we'll use that like you'd have to scan a QR code, and we'll help it try to identify what's on the menu. So first we will try the Rokids out, and I do have a microphone attached to the side of it. It doesn't come with that bump, but I want to get you the best audio possible of the results. So here we go. I will be using the keyword trigger instead of the shortcut just to keep it fair between the two of them. And also with Rokid, or both of them really, if you're not really specific, it's going to just look at the entire room and tell me everything about it. And I want it to focus strictly on the menu. All right. Hey, Rokid, look at the menu in front of me. See if there's an empanada style food that I could eat.
On the menu, the pollo con jamon serrano croquetas are listed for $225. While not a traditional empanada, these fried, breaded rolls offer a similar satisfying crunch and savory filling. If you are looking for something else with a pastry-like element, the cannelon di atún albacore at the bottom left is a stuffed pasta roll that might hit the spot. Everything looks delicious, so you really cannot go wrong. Enjoy your meal.
You said 225. That's in pesos. How much is that in US dollars?
Based on current exchange rates, 225 Mexican pesos equals approximately $11.25 USD. This is for the pollo con jamon serrano croquetas on the menu.
I'll do the same thing with the Metas. Hey, Meta, look at the menu in front of me and see if there's a empanada type food that I could eat.
I'm having a bit of trouble reading the menu text clearly. From what I can make out, there's an item that might be empanadas, listed though the text is a bit fuzzy. If you can adjust the tablet's angle or move it closer, I might be able to confirm if empanadas are an option.
Hey, Meta, stop. Okay, that was the exact same arm distance as before, but we'll move it up and see what it says. Get it closer for it. Hey, Meta, look at the menu in front of me and tell me if there's an empanada style food I could eat.
I don't see any empanada style dishes listed on the menu. The options include soups, salads, tapas, and main courses like seafood, meats, and vegetarian items. But empanadas aren't explicitly mentioned. If you're craving something similar, you might check the croquetas or patatas bravas sections. They're savory bites, though not empanadas. Let me know if you'd like help exploring other menu items.
Okay, tell me about the croquetas. What types do they have?
I can see croquetas listed on the menu under the platos calientes section, but the specific types aren't detailed in the visible text. They're priced at 250 pesos. If you'd like more details about the filling or varieties, you might ask the server. They'd know the current options.
If it's 250 pesos, how much is that in US dollars?
Mexican pesos is equivalent to about 13.86 US dollars.
Rokid recognized it right away. But then we pushed it further. We asked it to convert the price from pesos into US dollars, and it handled both parts of that request, identification and real world context. Now, Meta, it struggled to even locate the dish, and when it came to currency conversion, it just didn't get there well enough. And this is where it clicked for me. This just isn't about AI being cool. This is about solving real travel friction in the moment. And in this test, the difference was very clear. So let's talk about something you don't often think about until you're wearing them: the recording light. With Rokid, the light is there, but it's subtle. And if you're not looking for it, you might not even notice it. You can even partially cover it and it'll still function. Now, Meta is a completely different story. The light is bright, noticeable, a little bit like a lighthouse beacon, and it's very intentional. And if you try to cover it, the camera shuts down altogether. Now, look, I get it. To be fair, there's a reason for that. Privacy matters, and we're as concerned about people using these in places they shouldn't as anyone else. In fact, some cruise ships are already banning these glasses in certain areas of the ship, and they should, because they shouldn't be used there. That all makes sense. But here's the trade-off. The entire value of AI glasses is being able to use them without drawing attention, to be able to record inside a church when it's not really appropriate to bring it out there, but you want to remember the moment in a foreign country. If the light makes you stand out, especially at night or in crowded places, it starts to defeat the entire purpose. Now let's talk about how you actually capture your trip. because this is where it really starts to matter and becomes super useful. One of the biggest benefits of AI glasses isn't just the tech, it's that you're no longer stuck behind the phone or camera. Think about it. How many times when you're traveling, instead of enjoying the moment, you're holding your phone or camera up trying to record it? You're framing the shot, adjusting the angles, making sure you get it just right because you're only going to be here once, and you kind of miss actually being there altogether. With glasses like these, you're just looking. You're walking through a new city, exploring a port, sitting at a beach, and you're capturing it at the same time. Hands free, much more natural, more like how you actually experienced it. Now, this matters for everyday travelers just as much as it does for content creators. If you just want to remember your trip, this is one of the easiest ways to do it without interrupting the moment. But if you're creating content, this is also where differences start to show up. Meta is more limited. You're choosing between 1 minute and 3 minute clips, 1080p or 3K at 30 frames, and everything is locked into vertical. Now, Meta does have a big advantage. You can use it directly with Facebook or Messenger as a point of view camera, and that's strong. If you're focusing on social sharing, it's a big deal. Rokid doesn't currently integrate its camera into other apps, but where Rokid really does stand out is flexibility. You get 4K options and multiple aspect ratios, recording times from 15 seconds all the way up to 10 minutes. And that longer recording time makes a big difference because instead of just constantly clicking and starting video, you're walking through a destination, exploring a ship, or just living in the moment, and you don't constantly have to worry about stop and restart recording. You just want to capture the experience as it happens. And that's the real difference here. Meta leans more towards social sharing. Rokid leans towards capturing the full experience. And depending upon how you travel, that's going to matter. Rokid really separates itself when we talk about control and AI power. It supports live translation in around 89 languages. Meta is closer to about 6. Rokid can also give you turn by turn, walk by walk navigation and speak you directions as you move. And the control system is just way more flexible. That two-finger shortcut isn't just a shortcut, it's customizable. You can set it to do multiple things. Look at what's in front of you, translate the text, check the weather, or you can run a specialized command by just stating the different things you want to do. And you can actually make a combination command to do multiple things. And this is where it really gets interesting. You can actually run different AIs in Rokid. For example, you can run ChatGPT on the glasses and then something like Gemini on your phone. And that opens up a completely different level of usage. You're able to use a one touch function to get to your phone AI and do a whole different ecosystem than what sits in the glasses. Meta is more locked into its own ecosystem. Now let's talk about real world buying decisions. Meta comes in at around 459, Rokid at around 279. There is a noticeable price gap. Now it's a little bit closer if you're just doing sunglasses, and the 459 model is with transition lenses. Meta also has third-party options available to it, and they start at around $40. Rokid doesn't. VR Wave, Lensology, where's the love? We're sitting here with Rokid willing to spend our money, and you're not offering lenses. Let's step it up, please. But that also leads to its biggest downside for Rokid. The Rokid customer service has been rough. Actually, it's been downright horrible. I custom transition lenses with readers instead of using the little stickies. I just need 2.0 readers in the bottom of the lenses. That was 2 months ago, and they still haven't arrived. Support has been slow to non existent. They usually don't communicate. And when they do communicate, it's not very helpful. To be clear, the glasses themselves work really well, but if something goes wrong, it could be an issue. My advice is to buy through Amazon and use a card like Capital One Venture X that has a very good extended warranty on these things. That way you avoid needing support at all. Here's the bottom line. If you want social content creation and meta integration, Meta Ray-Ban has a place. But if you want something that actually helps you travel, understand where you are, and interacts with the world around you, Rokid is just doing more right now, and Rokid will be traveling with me from Barcelona to Rome next month. If you're interested in the Rokid glasses, please use our link below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and it helps support what we do. And now I'm curious, which one would you actually use on your next travel? What would be the feature that you find most useful in the way that you travel? keep wandering and stay wander worthy.